Okay, guys, this is Mr. Harper. I am sharing with you guys a little bit of math practice. We're going to try to be going over this summer. I've talked with several of your parents, and I will talk with several more. Check on my battery. Looks like it might work. Didn't mean to get that up. Okay. Haven't practiced this over much yet, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty. This is my website, Harper's Class. Right now it says free-451 whatever .webador-site.com. I might buy a real website someday, but for now this does for me. You go over here to the page that says resource, and it's got some of what we're going to be working on today, place value, which we have studied in class this year and probably for several years before that. You guys have been over this. But this is a book a college course that they teach at CSI. It's for like people who haven't done math forever or never were who need math practice basically. So what we're looking at, this is chapter 1. It's going to base over whole numbers. Right now we're going to basically go over everything that people study when they are in grade school. My son is crying in the background. Hopefully he'll lay down and take a nap. Otherwise I might have to interrupt this for a while. So this basically wants you to name the number of shapes. That's counting them. Writing numbers 1 to 10. That is a basic fundamental skill that I know all of you guys have. Match the numbers with its word form. That might be a little tricky. We go say 4 to 4, 2 to 2. And you do need to memorize those because it will be necessary for writing checks, which people don't do a lot anymore, at least I don't, but I do have to do it occasionally. Okay, how many American flags contain the color green? I don't know that one, but it's just asking for a whole number. Write the number of states in the United States of America as a word. That would be 50, Fifty. Okay. Introduction to whole numbers. This is the beginning of chapter 1. The natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on. All of us know those. These are also called counting numbers. Now, what makes a whole number different from a counting number or a natural number is 0. 0 doesn't it exists, but it doesn't. In nature, there are some, I believe the Aztecs or the Mayans never actually had a number for 0. I don't know if the Romans did either. Our number system is based off of Arabic. So the graph of a whole line is shown by placing a heavy dot or number line directly above the number. So if we want to graph the number 3, we go over here to 3. Then if we want to know what's 1 above 3, we can go over 1 and we know that's 4. If we wanted to go 2 above 3, we'd go 2 over, and that would be 3 plus 2. Now, right now we're going over our basics on the number line, or basics under numbers. I'm not going to teach you so much for that. I am going to teach you how to use this calculator here. It is the TI-30X2S. It's the calculator we use at school. I know they sell it at Walmart. You can get it, I think it's $10. it will get you through math. I believe it's what CSI uses on their calculators. I know I took a test at BSU, and it used this calculator. Very valuable calculator. You can do most anything here. When you get to college, they're going to make you go out and buy I guess now it's $150. At least it was at Target when I looked this morning. So be prepared. Okay, so now it is showing us this sign, which means greater than. We've studied this a little bit in school this year. You have this means greater than, this means less than. It's this number here is less than this number here. Actually, that's a less than or equal to sign now, which we're not going to get into yet. The basis of this sign is we go 8 is greater than 3. So if we had 8 on our number line and 3 on our number line, we would say this 8 is further to the right than the 3. So the 8 is greater than the 3. Next, we look at this. This sign here means less than. So it gives the problem 5 is less than 12. So we go 5 is less than 12. Come on, Ev, go to bed. Okay. Graph 4 on the number line. So we're going to go to this number line and we're going to graph 4. That's how we do that. So now it says you try it. Graph 9 on the number line. So we look over here to 9 and we graph it. I will try putting some work like this on my website so that you guys can practice this. So on the number line, what is 3 units to the right of 4? So we go find 4 and we go 3 units to the right, and that is 7. And that is basically saying 4 plus 3 equals 7. So your turn, it says on the number line, what number is 4 units to the left of 11? So we're going to find 11. Now we're going to go 4 units to the left. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. And that's 7. And when you go to the left, it's minus. When you go to the right, it's plus. So now it wants us to place the symbol greater than or less than between the two numbers. Well, we know 38 and 23, so it's 38 is greater than 23. On this one, we have 0 and 54. Well, 0 is less than 54. So that's how we're going to do these. If you guys want to hit the pause button and do all these on your own, go right ahead. Write the given number in order from smallest to largest. So if you wanted to draw a number line, you could say, well, what would be the first one? Would be 0. Then you just go up the thing and it would be 5. And they're all written down right here. And then you guys can try it on your own. Again, I say pause this video and do some of these. You guys should be having out pieces of paper and notes, taking notes while we're going over this. Okay. Objective B, to write the whole number in words in standard form and in expanded form. So I actually, on my website, I have some of this. This is the chart. This isn't showing decimals. Next chapter 2, we get into decimals and fractions. But this chapter, we're only dealing with whole numbers. So we go 3, or we go ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions, 100 billions. Then I think it goes to trillions, which when this book was probably made, we might not have had to worry about trillions, at least as far as national debt goes, but now we're there. To write a number in word standard form, the standard from left, name the number in each period. Then we have, what I like to do is I like to start here at the ones, 1, 2, 3, and that's thousands. So 9, 0, 7 are all thousands. So that's 709,000. And then we have millions. And then the next comma is billions. So we have 5 billion, comma. And whenever we hit the comma is when we say the value, say hundreds, thousands, billion, millions, and billions, and then trillions. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time working on these, but the first 3 are the hundreds. So you have 842, but then you have 709,000, and you don't say thousand until you get to that comma. So I would suggest studying the number charts until you get this down. Some of you guys might already have this down and might be eager to have me move on to tougher problems, and that is fine. Okay? So 6,051,874 is written 6, and then you have the comma, and then you say million. Then we go 51,000. Now you have a 0 because you don't have any hundreds. Then you have 874. So again, the whole number 37,286 can be written in expanded form. And I know we've dealt with expanded form this year. I don't know that we dealt with this far in expanded form, but it's the same. I think we stuck more to the 286. But we're going to read it 30,000. Or 30, be 30,000. Then it would be 7,000. Then it would be 286. So I encourage you guys to study over these hundreds charts a lot. We're all the way out to the 100 billions. Okay, so now it wants us to write 82,593,071 in words. Words are going to be difficult, and if you have trouble reading, you might have trouble writing words too. But you do need to work on them. Not that I expect you to be writing checks out for 82,593,701, but no, it's not 700, that's 71. See, I even get confused with these. Okay. Now, objective C is rounding to the given place value. Now, I myself am not really worried about rounding. We are studying that a little bit in class right now. The thing I'm not as worried about rounding is I'm going to have you guys be using a lot of calculators. And I even talked about this with Chapel, and she agreed. Rounding is not, if you've got a calculator, rounding isn't as important as it used to be because you can do exact calculations with a calculator. Rounding is more if you're just trying to figure something out in your head. You can do it quicker by rounding. I'll often round myself if I'm doing something in my head, but if I have a calculator, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so 48 is closer to 50 than it is 40. Okay, get rid of that. Okay. So again, this is all rounding. If you want to study rounding, you can round, but basically rounding. If you go 5 and up, the number next to the number you're rounding is 5 and up. You go up. If it's under 5, you go down. So if you're rounding 55 to the nearest 10, it would be 60 because 5 goes up. If you were rounding 52 to the nearest, you would round down to 50. Yeah. So right here, it's the greater 6 is greater than 5, so you round up. Okay. This part, we're reading graphs. We've been reading graphs in class. So this is a pictograph. Use symbols to represent information. The symbol chosen usually has a connection to the data it represents. This is dealing with rich guys. You got Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Christy Walton, which I think that's one of Walmart's owners. And then you have Sheldon Adelson. I'm not that. Right? They don't even have the richest guy right now, Elon Musk, on there. So this is probably an old figure, but the net worth in tens of billions of dollars. So I believe each of these dollar signs would equal tens of billions of dollars. So Gates has got Buffett beat by a little bit. And basically it's just so you can look fast and you can say, well, if each of these is a tens of billions, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, which would be $60 billion. And I don't know. I might be reading that wrong. I'm trying to go through this fast because my son is not going back to bed. So this is a typical household in the United States, has an average tax income of $40,550. The circle graph in figure 1.2 represents how the annual income is spent. The complete circle represents the total amount, $40,550. Each section of the circle represents the amount spending particular expense. So this whole chart means 40,550. This is how much people spend. So housing is the biggest. That's because rent costs a lot. Mortgage payments cost a lot. Down here you have transportation. Gas costs a lot. You have food. Food costs a lot. Then you have others. Others being whatever else. You have health care. That's insurance. Going to the doctors, copays. You have clothing over here. Clothing is buying clothing for your family. Um, Insurance, prescriptions. That's actually larger than healthcare expenses because it covers most of healthcare expenses. Okay, so next here's another pie graph. Very, very cool graphs. You guys can get into that. I'll try to put some on my website before long. If you want to at any time, pause it and read over all of these. Okay, I'm just trying to get through this as a fast overcap because I want to get through these whole numbers and get on to the integers quickly. What we could do partially is if I tutor any of you this year or this summer, we can do this on we can go over this a little bit more. I can take some more time with you. For right now, I just want to give you an overcap and make sure that you guys are prepared. I would really like to start getting you guys into higher level math classes. Okay, so right here we have sanctioned league bowlers. Okay, these are the bar graph in figure 1.8 shows the states with the most sanctioned league bowlers. Use the graph to, for example, 12. You try it, 12. So, for example, 12. According to the figure 1.8, which state has the most sanctioned league bowlers? To determine which state has the most sanctioned league bowlers, locate the state that corresponds to the highest bar. So we can look, the highest bar looks like is Michigan with 303,233. So let's see if we were right. We were right. Michigan is the highest. Now you guys can do the you try it 12 and the you try it 13 on your own. Actually, this is a different example. The land area of the United States is what is that? 3,539,345 miles squared. What is the land area of the United States in the nearest 10,000? So we can look up here and we can figure, well, that's hundreds, there's thousands, there's 10,000. So we look at the 3 and we look at the number to the right of the 3 and it's 9. Is that more or less than 5? It is more than 5. So we round it to 40 and put all the others to zeros. You guys can pause it and do the you try it on your own. Okay, so we have been through section 1.1. This is your concept check. I would pause the video and look at all of these. The inequality 7 is greater than 4 is red. 7 is what than 4? Okay, so 7 is greater than 4. I would pause it and look these over. We're going on to review over A. It says, graph the number in the line. So what we do is the number is 2, so we graph it on the line. Okay, pause it and you do all these on your own. This one says 8 is 7, so figure out where 7 is. Okay, so now it wants 4 units. We're on number 13, 4 units to the left of 9. I'm going to borrow one of these up here, and I'm just going to go 9, and then I'm going to go 4 units to the left. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left, and we get 5. Okay. Now place the correct symbol, greater than, less than, or greater than, between the numbers. So we read 27 is less than 39. I would pause the video and do all of these on your own. Okay, next it says do inequality 15 is greater than 12 and 12 is less than 15. Express the same order relation. Do the inequalities 15 is greater than 12 and 12 is less than 15. Express the same order relation. Yes, because 15 is greater than 12, so 12 would be less than 15. Great example. We've done that in class a little bit. Use the inequality symbol less than to rewrite the ordered relationship expressed by the inequality 23 is greater than 10. Well, it wants us to change it to this, so we would have to do 10 is less than 23. If we get into any more of those, you guys, the next one, it says, write the given numbers in order from smallest to largest. Pause it and do this on your own. Now, this gets really important when we get ahead a little ways, because we get ahead a little ways, we're going to start doing statistics. Statistics is actually my favorite math. I prefer statistics to algebra. You use statistics way more than you do algebra. Everything you do has to do with statistics. And a lot of algebra has to do with statistics. But we'll get on. You guys pause it and write all those down. Okay. Write numbers in words. Okay. So, 704. Okay. And I would do that with all of these. Read them and just memorize how to spell the words. It will be a great thing for you to do. Okay? Now, write the numbers in standard form. Okay, so this is 75. So you would write it as 75. Again, pause the video and get all these written down. Okay? This is a big stuff. Okay, now I'm going to move this down a little bit so we can get this all written down. Pause the video and read this. The figures at the right show the number of crashes on U.S. roadways during each of the last 6 months of a recent year. Also shown is the number of vehicle involved in those crashes. Okay, so what does it It actually shows, I think it shows the number of vehicles being quite a few more, which makes sense. Have a couple of cars pile up, but guess what? I'm not going to do the math, so you guys do the math. Okay, and if you need help, get help from a parent on this one. Okay, now, again, this is really cool. I'm going to put it up there. Pause it. Do the math. Okay? This is cool stuff. Okay. Pause it and do the math. I'm going to try to see what's... Oh, that's part of the... in the news. Okay, pause it and do the math. Geography. The land area of Alaska is 570,833 miles squared. It's about half the size of the continental United States. What is the land area of Alaska to the nearest 1,000 square miles? So we go 1,000. This is 1,000. Okay, so we look at the number to the right, and it is an 8. 8 is more, so we would up it to 571,000. I think I'm doing all this right. If I'm not, go ahead and comment to me. Okay, now critical thinking, mathematics. What is the largest 3-digit number? What is the smallest 5-digit number? Okay, the largest 3-digit number, I would assume that would be 999, because if you go 1 digit more, you're into a 4-digit number. And if it wants to know the smallest 5-digit number, it would probably be 1 and then 4 zeros after it. So it would be what, 10,000? Okay, but I would pause it and do the math. There's a lot of math that we can do. Okay, now we're on to section 1.2, adding and subtraction of whole numbers. I'm going to hold off on this because I need to go take some heartburn medication. I forgot to earlier, my omeprazole. But then we're going on to 1.2, which is, again, quite a bit of math. We're going to be doing adding and subtracting of whole numbers. Guess what? We're going to go through this really fast because I expect you guys to now start using the calculators. Okay, we're going to go over the basis of adding and subtracting. But when it comes to doing too much of this stuff, I don't want to spend too much of your guys' time doing this. I want us, or back on my web page, I want us to do as much as we can. I'm going to stop this. I'll send this video around to a couple of you, anybody else who wants it, and go ahead and share it with people. I want us all to learn. Next, we're going to go on to adding and subtracting, then we'll go on to multiplying and dividing, and before long, we're just going to move on to decimals and fractions, which you can do all of with this calculator, and I want you guys to blossom.